4 words that I want you to remember. And those 4 words are, you can do it. During this dark time, you can do it. We are resilient and we have grit, but I want to use nature as a lesson. Nothing, no life is ever conceived in the light. Life is conceived, all life, in darkness. For anybody who's got a green thumb, when you plant a seed, it doesn't produce whatever it's designed to produce. The first thing it does is it goes down into the dark soil. It takes root in that darkness, and then it springs forth life. So even though we're in a dark period right now, if we are to reimagine and rejuvenate, it's time for us in this dark moment to go down deep within our own selves and take root at the work that we do and then come forward with that work. Because even in the darkest situations, light and life is present. Many of our children come from dark situations. But just because they come from a dark situation, it doesn't mean that life is over for them. Because our children have something, especially children that come from inner city schools and inner city environments. They have something that most children don't have, and that's grit. They got that thing about them that says, I'm going to push past. And it's something that I want us to think about as we recreate and as we talk about children that we serve and families that we serve on a regular basis. I want to advise you as counselors, and then I want you to advise the schools and the teachers and the faculty and staff that you work with to get rid of these pejoratives that we put on children, specifically children of color. Let's get rid of the word at risk. Let's get rid of the word underserved. These are pejoratives that handicap, that overgeneralize, and that place our children at a disadvantage, and it's coming from a deficit way of thinking. I remember I was at a school, and there was some students in the school that this whole school set was challenging, and they brought me in to kind of like talk to the students, and it was a group of young men of color. So they gather all the young men, and they put them in this room, and as soon as the young men saw the other young men, Terry, they said, this must be the room for the bad kids. Some started snapping, some started making jokes, others got withdrawn, others became angry because they didn't believe that they belonged in the group. And so after they got them settled down, I was just talking, and I said, you guys, I saw that some of you were a little upset, when you saw that you were being brought together in this group. And I said, you're not really, you're not bad at all. I said, maybe you just underestimated, and that's why you're here. And so they listened, and we went through our process. Later on, I'm walking through the hallway. Young man must have been about 6'1", 6'2". Big, strong-looking young man. And I'm walking through the hallway. He says, "Hey, mister." I say, "Yeah." He said, "You the one that had that group, right?" I said, yeah, I had the group. He said, "Well, I need to be in that group." He said, "Because I'm underestimated." The changing of the language changes the rules of engagement, which then changes the way in which we interact and relate Because when we say underestimated, that's a whole nother way of thinking. That means everybody has to readjust to the way they engage young people if we've been underestimating them from the beginning. That means the way you teach has to change. That means the way we support has to change, right? Because it's an underestimation of them. And then they're responding to, you're at risk. Now, I know I'm with counselors, so we're going to have